Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Navigating the holiday season is always tricky, from gatherings and gifts to schedules and sickness. And tonight, we're going to focus on that last one. The Minnesota Department of Health released its weekly report on the flu, RSV, and COVID. Last year, they combined for a so-called triple-demic and ruined a lot of plans. So far this year, that hasn't happened. So I checked in with 3 experts to see if we can expect that to continue. If you're wondering what the impact of the flu, COVID, and RSV seasons will have on the holiday season, the latest hospitalization chart released by MDH offers a starting point.
Sort of like it's a slow hill, but we're just starting to see that place where the curve is starting to shift into a higher gear.
Dr. Jill Foster says that's much different than last year, when leaders from all of the state's healthcare systems came together.
A lot of us are asking
to voice concerns about RSV and flu cases filling local ERs prior to Thanksgiving.
Last year was a record-setting year of RSV admissions. This year it is high, but it is what was pre-pandemic, or kind of, I would say, normal high rates of admissions.
But MDH epidemiologist Kathy Como-Sabetti says that likely means RSV will stick around for several more weeks as influenza and COVID pick up steam.
We're seeing multiple cases of RSV, few COVID, and flu every day in the clinic, which a small percentage of those end up in the ER or hospitalized. So we're seeing tons in the outpatient setting.
Dr. Liz Plachek is a pediatrician for Children's Minnesota and says that means nobody should be letting their guards down, especially with 11 new reports of influenza-like outbreaks at Minnesota schools this week.
Last week and this week, we're starting to see more flu cases come into the clinic. And this week especially, more exposures to flu, more exposures to COVID or RSV.
The newest statewide wastewater report released this week also showed a more than 30% jump in COVID detected.
I think with COVID, the difficult thing is we haven't had a lot of experience with post-pandemic COVID. So we don't really know if there's going to be seasonal waxes and wanes or kind of what that trajectory will look like.
But in terms of the flu, if you look at the CDC's nationwide transmission map from this time last year compared to now, it certainly looks like more families will have the green light to travel.
The one piece that is a little bit hopeful is that the strain of flu that we're seeing right now is an H1N1 strain, which generally does not lead to as much morbidity in the elderly population, which is more likely to be hospitalized.
What would you say in terms of where we stand now versus a year ago?
Generally, what I'm telling people is when they want to get together with their families, I wouldn't change a whole lot. I think, the biggest thing is don't go if you're sick. If you see other people who are sick, kind of call them out a little bit. And anybody who thinks that they might be sick should take a test.
And by the way, if you want to up your odds of staying healthy, all 3 of these experts say you can consider masking in airports or other big gathering spaces, especially while you're traveling. And if you haven't gotten a flu or COVID vaccine recently, they say you should consider one soon because it can take a week or 2 before you're fully protected.